Guys, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Untitled World. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be talking about one particular movie. One that had Debbie Ryan in it, but too little of Debbie Ryan. Honestly, it's sad that she was not like one of the most important pieces of this entire show. But it's a show no less that definitely made me very uncomfortable and make me want to rethink about every mannerism that I execute in my life. Today we're going to be talking about Turtles All the Way Down, the most uncomfortable movie I've ever watched in 2024. And mind you, I've watched some really scary movies, at least presumed to be scary by other reviewers, but I didn't really see the nick of it. So when I say that this is very uncomfortable, I mean it. Because in one sense of the word, it triggers a lot of stuff that I've questioned about myself over time. So obviously, in that sense, it can make you feel uncomfortable if you relate to that, even on the most minute of levels. Before we go into it, I'd like to say a very big thank you to everyone that has subscribed to the YouTube channel. We're planning on making extra content which will be available on the Patreon account. So if you're interested in that, I will leave a link down below so that you can subscribe to the Patreon. And we'll be able to do a lot more than just review stuff. We'll play some really nude games, messed up game. Yeah, of course, there's no way to avoid it. We're walking in the footsteps of freaking MXR plays here. It's only natural that we craft ourselves by that design. But anyway, let's get back to it. So, Turtles All the Way Down is a movie about a girl who's suffering from OCD. Now, OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder, and what it basically means is that you can do tunnel vision all the time. Well, in certain parts of your life. Some people focus on a lot of things. Some of them they're projected towards cleanliness. Some of them are projected towards things that they know, their lives, whether something is orderly or in disaster. OCD has a specific way of acting in every person. So with this girl, she's mostly obsessed with bacteria and the fact that bacteria can just invade her body and cause her illnesses on a very large front. And so she overthinks that to a degree that is almost insane. Well, it's not almost insane, it's beyond insane. But that all, to me, is fascinating. But the part that gets me uncomfortable is how she views it, or at least how the movie depicts it, and the sounds that they make, the radio sounds the static sound that radios make, they put that in there, then they show images of bacteria invading other cells, and it definitely brings that form of, it makes me feel it at the same time. So obviously, if their goal was to stimulate me in a way, they hit a home run with it. And I have to say, it never felt nice, not even one bit. So what happens is that she has a best friend, she has a life, and on one particular day, they find out that a childhood friend of theirs had their father running away because he was involved in a lot of crimes. So imagine Donald Trump leaving his kids and running away. And that particular piece, or at least the police were willing to give $100,000 to whoever had information about where the dad went, or Donald Trump, or however you want to view this. Now, the girl knew the guy that she was friends with when she was a kid was the son of this guy, so the guy would run away and everything. So, okay, she decides to go after him. Not really her, but her best friend, because her best friend wants to break the cycle of poverty and become rich as fuck. So $100K could do that for them. So they infiltrate the mansion, Batman level type shit. Not really, they they basically rowed the boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily. In that movie, life is but a dream, honestly, because when they got in there and the security guard showed them to the guy, the next thing that happened was he completely realized that they were in it for the money. That's the only reason why the girl who was her childhood friend showed up out of nowhere. And with that came another interesting set of events, because he gave her the money up front. He gave the girl $100K on the spot. That's like the most wildest thing ever. I don't think anyone has ever done that without putting that in a YouTube video. I don't think anyone has ever done that when it comes to real life situations. But you know what? Nothing is ever impossible in this world. All of these things can happen. All I'm saying is that when somebody goes through such an extent to show you that kind of generosity, they usually show it to the world. So the fact that he did it for the girl was actually a sign that he was interested in more than, nothing. Because the reason why he gave her the money was because he didn't want everything to seem like, okay, the only reason why she's hanging out with me is because of the money. I gave you the money, so what you gonna do? You gonna ditch me now? But she didn't ditch him. She obviously wanted to have more than just a simple relationship with him. But we still have to circle back to the fact that she is an OCD person. And she thinks a lot about bacteria. And if there's one thing you know, intimacy or contact, especially the one of a sexual nature, is the one that yields the most kind of bacteria. 60 million, 70 million, 80 million kinds of microbiums in your throat. All of them capable of, giving you sweet diseases that you never even asked for. So I could tell you from very first-hand experience that you definitely do not want that as your first-person contact. Now, obviously, when this happens to her, even the fact that he goes through great lengths to express his love for this girl, she's not able to reciprocate it back in a way that he finds satisfying. Now, obviously, he takes her on a jet trip to frickin' Northwestern to meet her idol lecturer. I've never had that before. I mean, I have lecturers that I like, but never one of that nature. But he shows her the university that she's dying to go to. And that does not even end up well, because she's so overwhelmed with emotion that she decides to kiss him. Now, obviously, first time that happens, we're like, oh, yay, she's overcoming her OCD. But on the flight back, she freaks out. She thinks, or not even she thinks, she speculates that after she has, tongue dance with the guy, she's going to end up with all his diseases and all his germs and all his bacteria, and all of those moments were the most uncomfortable to watch. And it's just made things so weird that she did not even want to sit close to him. She did not want to have anything to do with him because she did not want his germs. So she walks into the restroom and fills herself with sanitizer. That's fucking disgusting. But it's definitely a resort that I would go to if I overthought about bacteria. Honestly, if I was in her situation, I'd knock myself out. I just hit myself against the wall or something and just pass out, because thinking about it to that extent. And I think the only way that we can get rid of it is if I cut open my gut and squeeze out my stomach. Yeah, sounds gross, right? Obviously. So let's hope that's not the trajectory I'm on. But the reason why I resonate with this so much is because of how I feel most of the time. Sometimes I can isolate certain things in my life and double down on how it feels like to me. Now, whether or not I'm comfortable with it, it doesn't really matter because it keeps on escalating. Like, for her, it was germs and bacteria. For me, it's the future. Every single thought, every single action that I make, there is a projection of where it's going to send me. Sometimes it's dead on, sometimes it's not. And that even makes it more scarier because the more I go down that rabbit hole, the more at the back of my mind I go like, this can actually happen. And then I'm concerned because even though I wanted to stop, at the same time, I'm also curious to see if all of this could become a reality, if after all the thinking, this is exactly how it's going to play out. And that could change a lot of people's minds. That could lock you up in fear of what is to come when it comes to your future. And the future is so important. I mean, I get the bacteria and the germs are a very big deal, but imagine not being able to make a move because you've already planned out every single thing that is you're going to do, and you've seen that the outcome is catastrophic. It's bad. So why do it in the first place, Being locked in your head like that is no laughing matter. But on the same note, it might not be ADHD. I may just have a brain that likes to overthink things. It's just like you go down that rabbit hole and everyone thinks that you're crazy. So to have a show that actually tells you that you are not the only person is a sort of assurance in a certain way that you can get help, that you can overcome it, that it doesn't have to be game over, once that happens. But anyways, knowing so much about this movie, watching every single piece of this movie, I get closer to not only understanding it, but also being able to see how valuable the movie is, in fact. Throughout the movie, we have one of her friends supporting her and always being by her side, but also being neglected in a way that no human should have to endure or go through. Because guess what? You could be the most mentally inflicted individual. You could be the one person in the world that has all the mental illnesses you could ever possibly imagine and still be a dickhead because the people around you are not appreciated, even though they go through lengths of trying to get close to you in order to try and understand you. I can't say that I'm worthy of a lot of things, but one thing I know about myself is that I'm really ready to go onto the deep end, the really, really deep end. For anyone that I consider a friend of mine, I will go above and beyond. As long as it's possible, I will do everything I possibly can for the person that I consider a very prime part of my life. But there is also a part where I fall off the cliff. There's a part where after I do all that, I get burnt out and I lock myself out. It's like I shut down after doing that. It's like an override. And after that override comes an absolute shutdown. And I never want to have to do that again. I wish I could pace myself, but the moment I try to, I end up doing even more. Because pacing myself means that I take a breath and I do it. And it's like we're doing the most unlimitedly for someone who may be in my life, but it's not particularly important. And it's not affecting me in a way that's positive either. So it's kind of weird. But anyways, Turtles All the Way Down is a really impressive movie. And even though it took us such a while to talk about it, I'm glad I did, because it's a really great movie, and I really think you guys should check it out. This is Young Titan signing off. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and until next time, I hope you do take care of yourselves, because if you're going through that, if you're going through all of this, I understand it's never easy. The one thing I'm afraid of doing is walking into a therapist office or therapist place, and after all the tests and the checks and the questions, they tell me that I don't have anything. I'm just a dickhead who forced all these imaginary mental illnesses on myself. That's the one thing that hovers in my mind, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't have a mental illness. Maybe I'm just a bitch. Just that in itself makes me feel like the worst person on planet Earth. And it makes me think, oh, okay, maybe we're just pretending that we have all of these when really we're a healthy human being. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But I don't know. If I don't take the first step in finding out, it's all just going to be hearsays. And we can't deal with hearsays when you're living your life, you know. So I'd rather be sure about it. And also the fact that, you know, it costs a lot to go up to a therapist. That shit's crazy. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys take care of yourself. Please like and subscribe for more. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until next time, please do take care of yourselves. With that being said, I'll tighten out. Thank you for watching or listening. I don't know.